Next up, we have Scott Diusa, who will be giving a talk titled Tether Tools, Camera Power, and Image Transfer Tools. Scott's talk is sponsored by Roberts Camera, another one of our amazing sponsors who is helping bring you this week of free programming. Scott?
Cool. Thanks so much, Lance. Welcome, everybody, and I appreciate the Atlanta Photojournalism Conference having me here. And I want to go over some things with you to maybe explain a little bit more about what it takes to tether your camera to a computer and what you can do as a photojournalist on site when you have to think about ease of use and especially power as well. So again, I'm Scott Diusa from Tether Tools, and I want to thank our friends at Roberts Camera for inviting us to be a part of this. And I'm going to go to the presentation real quick. Now, I'm going to let you know one thing before we get started here, that Roberts is going to be offering a 10% discount on Tether Tools products for the workshop attendees from today through 11/20. So that's a really great thing. And if you are interested, you can contact Nick, John, Dan, or Jody at prosales@robertscamera.com or call them at the 800 number that you see there. I'm going to put this slide back up at the end of the program. So if you want to take a screen grab of it and get in touch with those guys afterwards, that would be fantastic. But what I'm going to start off with is like how do you get into tethering? Tethering is really a very simple. It's a very simple thing if you think about it. All you need is a camera, a computer, and a cable. And as you can see here, Tether Tools starts off with a very, very easy to use starter kit. It's a choice of a 15-foot USB Tether Pro cable, and it comes with some what we call jerk stopper camera supports and computer supports for keeping the ports on your computer and your camera safe, and some cable ties and a cable organization case. So it's a really easy way to get into tethering your camera to your computer, and that's all you really need. I'm going to go in a little bit more in depth, not into the whole studio type of thing, but I want to talk a little bit about the items that are in what are called the Pro Tethering Kit. I'm going to show you those live right here in my home studio and show you how easy it is to set up these devices and put your laptop up and start taking pictures and having it go straight into the computer. Tether Tools actually started 10 years ago off the idea of our CEO he took a table on site with him, to shoot images. And he decided there's got to be an easier way of doing this. So the actual first product for Tether Tools was the Tether table. And it used to be called Tether tables many years ago. And that was this idea of putting a laptop on a table, on a tripod, on location, and being able to set it up and take it down really fast. Now, that's where the company started. And now the amount of products this company makes is absolutely incredible, and I'm happy to be here to show you how all of this is going to work. So let's take a look at some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. First of all, I want to talk about wireless tethering as well. Now I just showed you that you could do tethering by buying a cable going from camera to computer, but you can also do wireless tethering as well, and that's where this AirDirect device comes in. And I'm going to show you how this works, but I wanted to, for ease of use when you're on location, explain to you how fast you can get up and get tethering and what the capabilities of a device like this are. This wireless transmitter produces its own Wi-Fi network. So it is its own Wi-Fi hotspot. It has a transmission range in the 2.4 gigahertz mode of up to 200 feet from your computer. You can also use this as a remote control to the camera, and so you have two-way communication between computer and AirDirect, or AirDirect to computer. And the other thing is you can also use this in a mobile situation. If you wanted to use an iPhone or a tablet or iPad or an Android device, you can set this to mobile, and you can shoot directly from this device into an iPhone, for example, and then transmit images straight from there. So you could have like an iPad in a backpack behind you, and you can be taking pictures, and they're all going into that iPad. And if you want to set it up to transfer out from there, you can do that too. So it has two different band settings. It has 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. The 2.4 isn't as fast, but it transfers up to 200 feet. The 5 gigahertz is a faster transfer speed, but the distance is about half that. So it's about 100 feet. So it's still very robust. If you are in a situation where you're in a studio or you're in a location where they have Wi-Fi and you want to be on that Wi-Fi network, you can actually bridge this device with the existing Wi-Fi network, and you can still be on the computer, on the internet, while shooting to the computer, which is a really huge advantage. Now, the other thing that's a really big advantage to a device like this is that it uses its own battery. You're not using the Wi-Fi in a camera and using the camera's battery for power. You're actually using a Canon-style LPE6 battery on this device to power it all itself. So you can run for hours with this, depending on how many images you're transmitting and how much data you're moving. But this will be powered by itself, so you don't have to worry about running your camera battery down by using this device. Now, the thing about power, when you're on site and you're on location, you got to think about power solutions. And Tether Tools makes some really incredible power solutions called OnSite Power with this DTAP battery. And this DTAP battery is a very robust, very long-lasting battery, but I want to show you some really neat things that it can do. First of all, you can put together the DTAP battery with this DTAP to AC power supply. And I remember the first time I ever saw a picture of this, I said, wow, I got to have one of these. It's got 2 AC power outlets on it, and it's got 4 USB ports on it, and you plug it into one battery, and you can be on site running pretty much anything you want to right from this unit here. The DTAP battery with the V-mount is what you're looking at on the left. Now, the V-mount, you can actually mount this battery in 2 different ways. You can mount it under one of the tether tables, or you can mount it on a device that I'm going to show you, a Versa V-mount bracket that I'm going to show you live in just a moment. Now, here's one of the greatest things that I wanted to tell this audience about. That AC power supply, you can have a car adapter for this. So if you're in a rental car that only has like 1 USB port and you need to charge your computer, you need to charge camera batteries, you need to charge phones, you can just plug this directly into the cigarette lighter and you can charge all your devices as you're traveling from one location to the next. So that is a really huge thing for anybody who's on the go. And so you look at it, 2 AC power supplies and 4 USB power ports just by your cigarette lighter in your car. That's incredible. So for photojournalism, there's a couple different ways that I mentioned before about going with this. You can do either wireless tethering with the AirDirect system, or you can do wired tethering. This is a wireless example from camera to end solution here. And the wireless tethering, you can go straight into an iPad that can be on that AeroTab iPad holder. Now, that doesn't have to be on an arm. You can actually put that on a loop and hang it from your belt or something. You can actually carry that with you. So when you're shooting, you can glance down and see the images large, and you can have them straight into a tablet that way. Of course, all the on-site battery units. I'm going to show you this 87-watt battery pack in particular and explain to you how important this is when it comes to compactness and ease of use, but a lot of power on site. And if you're going to be doing this, you can go into the Air Remote app for this in the mobile situation. Now, this is, by the way, just to let you know, this is a Nikon Canon thing only, okay? Just letting you know that ahead of time. Now, but most people are actually probably going to go straight into a computer. So you have the choice of either going air direct wireless tethering system into the computer, or you can go with the wired tethering system. Now, if you do that, you want to make sure that you use the jerk stopper supports for the ports on your camera and your computer, especially on the camera, because camera USB ports can be broken very easily. And the jerk stopper basically grabs a hold of the cable and it attaches to the strap eyelet on the camera. And so if something yanks on the cord won't get yanked out of the camera until there's a lot of force put on it, but it will protect that port from getting broken. And then you could see here also the Aero table with the on-site DTAP battery supply and AC power system. So there's the DTAP battery underneath the computer and the AC power right in the front. And then if you're going into a computer, you might want to choose a tethering software that's as robust and easy as Tether Tools Smart Shooter 4. This is a very, very easy to use tethering software that will just pick up the image, shoot, and you'll be ready to go. So what I'm going to do now, so I don't run over time at all, I'm going to actually put my microphone down here, so I hope everything still sounds good. And I'm going to go live with you guys, and I'm going to show you how this all sets up. So here we go. So I'm going to welcome you to my home studio here in Nashville, Tennessee. And first of all, I've got a regular tripod with a Manfrotto ball head on it, and inside the carry bag right here, and the carry bag comes with every tether table, is I have what's called a tether table traveler. And this is actually the smallest of all the tether tables. It has a, on the bottom of it, you'll see I have the mount right here. This can mount to a light stand. It can mount to a tripod. It's got all the different mounts. It's got an ARCA bracket on it, anything that you want to, but I put it on the Manfrotto quick release. And this extra device that you see under here is that mount for the DTAP battery. So I could mount the battery right underneath the table if I want to, and I can leave this all connected to it and be ready to go. Now the tables all ship with a padded surface that has heat dispersing vanes in it. So right here, I'm just going to take this and I'll put it right on this ball head. Just tighten the ball head down, and you got a nice sturdy platform. Next, I'm going to get my computer. I'm going to put my computer on, open that up, wake it up real quick. Okay, and then the next most important thing, especially when you're talking about a brand new MacBook Pro, is to use the strap to hold the computer down. So I'm going to put this on right here. You know, live demos are always fun because you never know what's going to happen, especially with my dog and my cat running around. So you might see them in the picture. So now I've got the computer secure, okay? Now, if your computer battery is 100% charged and you want to start shooting, go for it. But if you know that you're going to be shooting a little longer and you want extra battery power, that's where this battery comes in. This is the 87 watt USB-C battery. It has on the end of it, it has one USB-C port right here, and it has two USB-A ports, okay? The USB-C port on this is powerful enough to power a MacBook Pro for one full battery charge. And so this fits beautifully right behind the computer right here. I can plug into that. I can plug into the side, hit the power button, boom. Computer is now charging or staying charged at 100%. So that's all I need right here is just this battery pack, and we can go and we can shoot. I'm going to show you the DTAP batteries in just a moment, but first I'm going to talk about the Air Direct piece. Now this is the wireless unit I was showing you just a minute ago with the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz networks. The ability to go to a mobile device or to a computer. It serves up its own Wi-Fi network, and it also has the battery on the top that shows the green light that the battery is fully charged. Just because my computer was asleep, I'm going to make sure that I am connected to the right network, and I am. And there's a small utility program called the ADU. It's an air direct utility that when you're running that, it's basically what it does is it simulates that the computer is hooked up to the computer. I mean, the camera's hooked up to the computer like a USB cable. Okay, so I'm going to come back to Smart Shooter, and live demos are always fun. So let's take a picture and we'll see what happens here. Boom, there's my image I just shot right there. So you can be shooting all images all over, and they're coming right in right now. So this is wirelessly tethered to this computer, and it's been connected to this computer for about 2 hours now already. Now, here's a really important thing that I want to bring up when it comes to the AirDirect device. This battery on the top can be hot swapped out, but what you need to do, and it comes with this cable, if you have a USB battery like this one right back here, so I could actually take this, I could plug it into this battery right here, and if I needed to hot swap this out, there's a small DC port on the side here. I could put the included cable from USB into here. Now I could take this battery off, put a new one on, unplug this, and I never lost my connection. So that's really huge. When you don't lose your connection, you don't lose time. So if you only have just a small, pocket iPhone battery charger with you, you can plug into this DC port, change the battery out, and you don't lose your connection and have to reconfigure everything. Wonderful. So that is that's the AirDirect wireless unit. So as I said, we're going straight into Smart Shooter 4 and just connected from camera to computer on a table just like this. Now, I'm going to show you the next option on power supplies. Now this here, this is that DTAP battery that I mentioned in the program. Okay, the DTAP battery it's a large battery. This is the Versa V mount for it. So you can actually hang this. You can put it on a clamp. You can mount it to a light stand. You can mount it anywhere you want to. And you put the battery in here in that V mount. You can hold it. You can hang it from you. You can attach the AC power port to the back of it, and you can have this all as one unit if you want. But this is a really, really powerful battery. I mean, this one's powerful, but this one's even more powerful. So if you definitely need extra power on site, you can use this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hang this from my tripod right down here, and I can take this and I'll keep it plugged in first of all. So we got that plugged in, and then I am just going to put this on the back like that. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and I can use my regular Apple wall adapter into there. And now I'm powering that battery. Now you can't see that, but I'm going to do something different here for you. I'm going to bring this little camera in and I'm going to show you some close up here. So here is my Apple adapter inside the AC power unit, which is tethered all the way down to the DTAP battery right here. So this is just hanging right from my tripod right at the bottom. And it comes right up, and now you have the full AC power, 2 AC outlets. You have 4 USB ports right there. And so you can plug anything you want into this. And it's really, really a very robust solution, but it comes off just like that. It's just this easy to come off and put right back on. So you can be running anything that you need to power right from here, and is really, really useful for just being on location. So you could be going for hours with this. So this is really the easiest setup that we have, which is basically the tripod, the power unit, the ball head with the arrow table, the computer, the strap holding the computer down, and your power supplies on the back. And see, look at this. This is nice because this just fits. This is a 16-inch MacBook Pro, and this battery right here fits perfectly right behind it as well. That arrow table, on the arrow table, just like that. So without getting you car sick anymore, I'm going to come back over to here. And I just want to kind of review everything. We've got a few minutes left, but whether or not you're using a high visibility orange cable like so, you can just plug this straight into the USB-C, plug it into the USB-C on the camera, and be tethered that way. Or whether it be the AirDirect device, they both work exactly the same way into any program that you want to shoot into that uses tethering. There is also, by the way, in Smart Shooter 4, this program also comes with a plugin for Lightroom Classic that works for Sony and Nikon right now. Canon's plan to come down and catch up to Adobe a little bit and work with this, and we'll get that updated. But for right now, this is the very first time that Sony users have been able to shoot directly into Lightroom Classic without having to set up like a hot folder or a watch folder for images to come in and then be working with it. So all you have to do inside this program is go into Preferences, the plugin, and say Install Plugin. And it works perfectly for Sony and Nikon shooters. Another really great thing, just to let you know about Smart Shooter 4, which is really important for photographers, especially Nikon and Sony shooters, is if you are tethered, your camera probably doesn't read to the card. It actually will send the images straight from the camera to the computer and not save them on the card. If you want a backup of your images on the memory card, you can actually choose storage inside here, and you can say both. You can say card, disk, hard disk, or both. So now with a camera that doesn't support shooting both to both locations by itself, you can actually do that inside Smart Shooter 4 and have a backup while you're shooting tethered. So that is a really, really big thing when it comes to tethered photography for especially Nikon shooters and Sony shooters that really don't have that ability. So I'm going to come back to my presentation and sit down real quick. And I want to just remind you that Robert's Camera is offering a 10% discount on any Tether Tools products for the workshop attendees purchased from today through the 20th. So please take a picture of this, take a screen grab of this, and call Nick, John, Dan, or Jody at Roberts and save some money. So I think that would be a wonderful thing. And if you need to ever get a hold of me, and if you have any questions about any of this, I'm the technical sales engineer for Tether Tools. My name is Scott Diusa, and there's my email right there for you. So if you have any questions outside of this presentation and outside of the time we had today, I encourage you to give me an email, and I'll do my best to answer all your questions for you. So I'm a few minutes early, but that's okay. I think any presenter that finishes early is a good thing sometimes. And I'll turn it back to Lance if there aren't any other questions that Lance has for me. I want to thank you all for your time tonight, and have a great rest of the workshop.